Well, g'day, and welcome back again to ZhaoQing. So today we were going to take a look in a museum, but they've just closed their doors, so we're not going to be able to. But we're going to just give you a quick little look, and then we're going to make a different video. So this is basically telling us about it. It's the former site of the headquarters of ZhaoQing Independent League. Former site of the headquarters of ZhaoQing League is located in Yujiang House, Jiangbin East Road, Chengdong Street, Guangzhou District. Yujiang House was built in 1431-1435 from the 6th to the 10th year of Emperor Xuandi in the Ming Dynasty. It was officially named Yujiang House in 1641 of Chongzhen reign of Ming Dynasty. It was rebuilt in 1657. It is located in the north and facing the south, which is typical ancient quadrangle building in Guangdong. The building is 2 stories high and divided into 4 buildings, south, north, east and west. First floor of the north building, there are 5 pieces of Kangxi imperial steel established by Guo Shiling, the governor of Guangdong and Guangxi in the Qing dynasty. Under the eaves of the south tower is a wooden plaque of Yujiang House written by Lao Chongguang, the governor of Guangdong and Guangdong in the Qing dynasty. On November 21, 1925, ZhaoQing's Independent League was established here. After the establishment of ZhaoQing Independent League, it carried out strict political and military training, actively participated in various social activities, spread revolutionary ideas, maintained social order, attacked the revolting landlords and bandits, vigorously supported the peasant movement in Xinjiang area, and promoted the peasant movement in Xinjiang area to its heyday. In May 1926, ZhaoQing's Independent League was ordered to command the Northern Expedition. In 1959, according to Marshal Judy's instruction, the house was built as a former site memorial hall of the headquarters of ZhaoQing's Independent League. It is now a national patriotism education demonstration base and a national defence education demonstration base. The former site of the headquarters of ZhaoQing Independent League is the founding place of the first regular revolutionary armed group led by the Communist Party of China, which has high historical and cultural value. It was listed as a National Key Cultural Relics Protection Unit in 2019. And then down below here, you can see a bit of a map around this area. And then down the bottom, Chongxi Pagoda, which will be up in front of us, Gaoyao Scholastic Palace, ZhaoQing Ancient City Wall, Liqiao Building, and Stone Bridge Pavilion. So we can see buildings go right down here. And then the main entrance is here. And we can see up into the building. So they've just closed off. They close off entry at 4:30, so we're not going to be able to get in there today, but we'll come back and actually do a video inside tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow afternoon. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to take a wander down this way. On our way here, we actually found an art museum, which we're going to go and have a look at. And then we're going to walk back towards our school down. The river's just on our left here. We're actually going to go down the bottom and go for a walk back along the bottom there and just show you what sort of things happen down along the river here in ZhaoQing. So, what else can I tell you about this little area? So, the big walk we did along the river when we were going to Baogong Temple was off to the west of our school. We're now off to the east, so we're in the opposite direction. All this road here is new. It was completed in 2019 maybe. When did I get here? I got here 2017. It was still under construction. It might have been the end of 2018, start of 2019. So all of this road goes basically well, from where our school is, which is a couple of kilometres in front of us here, and runs along the river right the way through to the east end of the city, which is, I'm not even sure, 10, 12 kilometres away. At the same time, they were building the big bridge over the river here, this new bridge that we walked over on our way to ZhaoQing. And then also down the bottom below the road on the other side there is a great little walkway, which is where we're going to walk back once we've gone and had a look at this little museum up here. Okay, so we'll just point out a few of these shops here. So this first one here is a bar, which I often go and, well, used to often go and have a drink with my mate Peter in. They actually make their own beer in there, which is quite nice. Then next here, this another bar here, DJ House, which is where I often go and play music in there. Then we have a martial arts training centre, which looks like they're just opening. That door was shut when I came past. This is another bar area here. So this is the first bar I ever actually played in. There used to be another closed bar on top, but they've taken all the building away. It's now an open air bar. So this used to be called, oh, what was the name of the place? I can't remember. But yeah, Frankel from our school called me up one night and said, oh, we're down here, come and have a drink with us. So I came down there, met a few musicians, and played some music. Also learnt how they play the dice game here in China, which is a fun little drinking game. Up here we have a hotel in here. There's another martial arts school here behind these locked doors, so we might have to come for a walk down here one night. So these martial arts schools are normally open at night time. There's always a few kids knocking around in there. You can see it's late afternoon, that sun's heading down in front of us, so I'm hoping these pictures come through okay. You see these ramps they've got set up so we can actually see them sliding some of these boxes down for the delivery people to load on their bikes. So as we come through, let's see what else we've got. Okay, so this here, it's quite an old hotel. When I arrived here, another friend of mine used to actually live in here. They've refurbished all the front. So when they were doing all this new road work, all this got dug up. So they had to put in temporary access into the hotel and stuff. It was quite messy. I think most people used to actually go around the back and come in through the back entrance. But they've done up all the front. It looks really good actually. It's come up a treat. So this here is an art museum. So we're going to duck in here and have a look. I'm just going to have to turn the camera off for a moment and make sure we are allowed to film in here. What is this? Hui Yi Art Museum. So give us a minute. We're going to turn off the camera, go in and see if filming is allowed in here. We'll be right back with you. Okay, so we've been allowed filming in here. It's all good. So we have these lovely little sculptures here as we look along. We do have some information here in English, but it's all about an art group. It's not really about what's in here. We have these lovely abstract sort of things which are, well, I don't know much about art. They look okay. Then over on the back wall here, nice big piece, sort of, yeah, it's three pieces that go together obviously. I quite like that. A painting on the wall here, and some more sculptures down here. I don't know who these people are meant to be. That middle one there actually looks like a Plato or something like that. Then we have this headless angel, which is pretty cool. And the sign down on the floor, please do not touch or kiss. Okay, we're going to go for a quick walk upstairs here. Have a look at what else we can see in here. Okay, as we look, this interesting sculpture for the wall. So up here is apparently they do it as a school. So we'll see down the back here, lots of places for people to come and actually learn how to paint. I might have to come and do some lessons myself. Oh, there's some really nice sketches on the back wall there. We're not going to go in there because there are people working at the moment, studying, learning. So judging by them pictures on the back wall, just zoom in on them. It looks like those sculptures we saw downstairs are actually used as pieces for like models to practice drawing. And we see up here, so this is a high school teaching area 1. And then it looks like they have individual rooms down the back. Okay, we're not going to go down there in case we have students around. We don't want to interrupt them and cause problems. So, yes. So heading back downstairs now. Actually, we just stop here. Have a look up at these lights. These look really cool. They appear to be strobing in the camera, but they're not. That'll just be an artifact of the camera. It is a lovely place. And then coffee machine and stuff down here, so you can come in and have coffee and things. Okay, we're going to head out and we're going to cross the road here and head down onto the riverway. We just made that. Our light here is just about to change from green to red. So good timing coming down there. So back up on the main road, we're going to head down these steps here. These are going to take us down onto this new pathway, which will take us down along the river. So just standing here, we'll just pan around, have a little look. So we have the bridge going over to Gaoyao over in the distance there. You can see quite a bit of shipping running up and down the river. If we look down at the bottom here, more veggie gardens down here. So there's a lot of these all the way along here. These are actually quite new. They last time I actually walked down along the path down here, there were no vegetable gardens down here. So I don't know if the local government have sort of opened this up, or if people have just sort of gone, bugger it, there's a bit of empty ground, we're going to plant a garden. Could be either way. If we look down here, we'll see a guy just heading out of the water. Where's he gone? He's behind the trees. We see another guy over here swimming. So yeah, there are people who swim in here. I'm not one of them. That water looks absolutely horrible. So yeah, this path basically runs from Baogong Temple, which we looked at quite a while back, about a month ago or so, maybe more, and right back past this bridge here, and then there's another bridge 3 or 4 kilometers beyond that bridge. The path runs at least until there. I haven't actually been down further, but I have driven past. Pretty sure this path runs all the way down to the east of the city, which, like the road, is 10-12 kilometers down that way. We can see the tower in there by that bridge, which we saw from our Gaoyao video, but we will head out that way sometime and get a closer look at that tower and have a look at what else happens further up that way. There is a new building area down there, which they do a lot. I don't know if they still do it. They were doing a really good light show, so we'll have to have a look and see if that's still going on or not, and get down and have a look. So we're going to duck down onto this bottom little pathway here and see what's going on. So aside from the vegetable gardens down here, the other thing that you get a lot of is all of these boats tied up, all these ships. So we're going to walk past a whole heap of them. So here's it's almost like a little boat ramp for people to get down into the water. Nice little seating area there. It's quite nice. We'll have to yeah, I have mentioned before, they do a swim every year, which is from this side of the river right the way over to Gaoyao, which, I don't know, at this point of the river, it must be 800 or 900 meters. So it's quite a sizable swim, and with the current, you know, they start right down near our school and they end up, they probably swim across the river at maybe a 45-degree angle due to the current. So they're probably swimming 1,300, 1,400 meters. Certainly swimming further than the length of the river on its own. So here we have one of these boats, one of these ships that trawls up and down the river. So one of our teachers at our school, Frankel, his father used to actually captain these boats. He's retired now, but I've got Frankel to actually have a chat to him, see if he knows any people who are still in the business who we can maybe get on a boat with, have a look around a boat, and maybe even take a trip up to one of their loading areas or the like. So in the wall here underneath the roadway we have these tunnels occasionally. These lead through to the other side of the road, and basically that's back down to ground level. So this road is actually built up above ground level as protection from the river, to protect the city. So through this gate is a little market street, which we will go and have a look at one day. There's a lot of cool stuff down there to have a squiz at, but we won't do it today. We're going to keep heading back to the school. Yeah, so you can see this here is ground level. This road is actually built up, must be 4 meters, 5 meters above us here. So it's quite a bit of extra protection. I've never actually seen the water come up even nearly high enough to really threaten the city, but I have seen it come up. We'll get down to this little viewing area here and give you a look at where the river does come up to. Most years we'll have a fairly reasonable flood. So we can see where the river is now. It's actually still sitting a little bit higher than normal, but I've seen it come probably halfway up this slope here. So, you know, it comes up a good 3 or 4, maybe even 5 meters above where it's sitting right at the moment. Yeah, it does, when you've got all the snows and whatnot, all the rains up north, all coming down here. So this little platform sort of, I don't know, is it a boat? Is it just no, it's just a platform by the look. Is the China Fishery Law Enforcement Division. So you'll often see a couple of boats tied up there. Both boats are away at the moment, so they must be off checking on things and making sure things are going right. Actually, we're going to duck down here, just following this guy. Looks like there's a little path down the bottom, so we're going to get down and have a look down here. So we see here again, as we've saw along the lake, these life rings. These are dotted around the place. There's another one I can see just down next to that boat down there. So first glance you think, wow, it's a long way from the water. You know, if someone's in there drowning, you got to run a long way. But the water is pretty calm when it's this low. So chances are, if that's needed, it's probably going to be needed when it's when we've got a high water line and the river's moving much faster. So just down on the left and right here, we can see these garden areas. All sorts of vegetables being grown, and the same over this way. So yeah, there's all sorts of vegetables being grown in here, and then we see a little tent up here which looks like just shade for the people growing. There is a little path here, but it looks like it only goes as far as that tent. So we're going to head back up here to the main path, carry on down the way. So this path of an evening is very popular with walkers, joggers, people riding their bikes down here and stuff. Yeah, the whole length of this place will have people in the evening sort of wandering up and down the way. A lot of bikes. You do get a few cars down here, but the access is gated, so you actually have to have permission to bring a car down. We do see a bit of a car park ahead of us. We'll pass soon. So yeah, not anyone can just come down here with a car. They do keep cars very limited, mainly to people who have boats and stuff down here, which, as we can see down here, we have a lot of the shipping tied up here, which we'll get down. There's a few trees up here. We'll get down past the other end here, and we can see a bit better past these plants and stuff to see what's going on. Oh, here comes a car coming past us now. So judging by the writing on the side of that ute, I think he is actually one of the local government sort of parks and gardens people, so he'll be down checking, I don't know what he'd be doing, checking the gardens, maybe checking lights and stuff. So these poles we see on our left, actually we see on the right here, these low lights, and then we have these poles here on our left here, which all light up at night time. Looks really good. So here we have path down to the boats, as well as a lot more gardens down here. So we can see in the front here they have a little platform which they keep a lot of gear in, gear for fixing boats and stuff, doing repairs, and then they can share that with, well, how many boats we got tied up there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tied up there at the moment. 6 with one more up the front. I don't know whether these people live on their boats or... Oh, I'd hope they'd have an apartment. That'd be a pretty terrible place to be living. But we see this path, actually we see a couple of cats down here. Hey, pretty cats. Nope. Hey. Nope, not interested in us. So yeah, they have this raised path, so you can see this metal beam here is actually on big pontoons, so if when the water does come up, that'll float up and they've still got access to their boats, which is a very clever idea. Okay, let's carry on our way here. So in front of us here we have public toilets, which is nice. That's one thing I've noticed since I got here. the number of public toilets around the place has grown a long way. And yeah, they're much more accessible. It was really hard when I first got here to find public toilets anywhere. Maybe that was just because I didn't sort of know my way around so well, but there have been a lot of new public toilets built. And as I've said before, when you see a sign pointing you in the direction of public toilets, they have a QR code on them. You can scan that with your WeChat and it'll bring up a map showing you where all the public toilets in ZhaoQing are, which is really handy. Actually, the other thing you'll notice, a lot of public toilets here. You go to bars, restaurants, those toilets that we just saw back there. It's funny, I hear a lot of people, you know, talking about transgender people. And one of the big worries they have is, oh, the bathrooms. You have men going in the girls' bathrooms and stuff like that. Bathrooms here are largely, other than sort of big hotels and big shopping centres, the bathrooms here are largely unisex. You go into a cubicle, you shut the door. Doesn't matter whether you're male or female, everybody goes into the same toilet, everybody uses the same place, and I've never heard of it being a problem. So those people who are using that as an argument against transgender people, you're just pathetic. Really. Hell, bad people are going to do bad things regardless of what a sign on a door says. So yeah, please stop using that argument. It is very, very weak. So what else have we got down here to look at? We have, if we just move over here, have this old building, old concrete building. I don't know what this would have been. It might have been dormitories for people that work on the boats or something, maybe. Might have been office space for the authorities. I can't tell you. But yeah, we do see boats tied up against there as well. It gives them a nice ready-made walking area out to their boat, which is generally going to be above waterline. I've got a feeling that concrete structure there is actually floating. So if the water goes up, so does that. You'll see also dotted along all the way along those paths are these buildings here, which are something to do with the river management. I'm not sure whether it's like boating control or just observation, or if it's, you know, monitoring water levels and stuff. There's a lot of these buildings probably all used for different things. So one will be monitoring water levels, one will be monitoring the boats, making sure everything's operating safely. It's probably one or two there to do with law enforcement. In fact, let's just see if we can see, there's a couple of boats down on our left here, which if we can see what these boats are used for, because they're actually quite nice looking boats, almost like cabin cruiser sort of things. But I'm pretty sure they are used by an authority, so we can't really see, I can't see anything telling us what these are. But we see here also the water levels here. Oh, so this will show us, so 2020, the water was up to here, 9.08 meters, which is quite high. 1995, 9.83, 2002, 10.38. So this is getting up level to ground level on the other side of the road. 1983, 10.82, 2008, 11.39. So my mother would have been here about then. 1988 it went up to 12.21 meters, 2005 12.68, 1998 13.32, and 1994 13.62. So that 13.62 will take us pretty much up to level with that. Wow, that's a huge amount of water. So if we look on the other side of the road, I mean, I think this roadway behind us sits higher than that on ZhaoQing. So if this was up to the top of that roadway, then ZhaoQing must have been absolutely flooded that year. So what year was that? 1994. Wow. That's, you know, when you look at the width of that river, to get enough extra water to get up that high, that's a whole shitload of water. Man, that's incredible. So as we look in here, we actually see quite a few offices in here. Like I say, I'm not sure what this building is for. We might have to try and find out in the future. Have another look. And down here we have this sort of sculpture thing. Right, so this is referencing something in the year 1118. So if I remember, what we'll actually do is back up, get this whole thing in the camera, and then we will just scoot down here, get this writing in the camera. And when we get home, when I'm editing this, if I remember, I'll try and grab a screenshot from each of those two shots there and translate them, and have written in subtitles on the screen what they're saying. So I can't tell you right away, but if I remember, we will endeavour to do that so you can see what's being said. So on our left up here now, we have a series of exercise equipment which people come down here in the evening. This place is chock-a-block. Every piece of equipment is being used. So I have little pedal machines here, things just for working your arms, spin these around. These little platforms here, actually, I've got a feeling they twist. So yes, so you hold on to the bars up here, stand on one of these platforms and just twist, gets your hips moving and stuff. Little sit-up bars, steps machines. Not sure what that one's used for. So yeah, a lot of different stuff, get different parts of your body moving. These are especially used by the elderly. They seem to be very, very popular. Now as we get up, we've got a boat on our left here which we want to show you, but we're going to get up the road a little bit more first, because I just want to show you something. There's actually two boats there, and I want to show you a comparison between them, because it is quite interesting to see. Wow, they're long boats. We have to walk quite a way to get where we want to get to. Okay, so this here, right, we've got ecological belt. Okay, same problem. I can't really see what this is. We do have another official looking area. Okay, so those guys on the back are wearing blue uniforms, so they must be something to do with either a fisheries department or maybe customs. So this river area apparently goes right down to Hong Kong, so has access to international ports. So there is every chance that may be customs, I've got a feeling. Wow, still going, trying to get a look at these boats. little comparison I wanted to show you. I saw it on the way down here, but maybe that's not the boat I was thinking about. What I was going to show you was this boat here. You can see how high up that's sitting. And then when you compare it to something like this on the other side, a boat that's loaded up, see how far down they sit in the water. The water's right up to the edge of the boat. It is quite amazing how high these things sit. And if we draw back, I don't know if you guys can make these out. There's a heap of dragonflies flying around here. Yeah, there's hundreds of the buggers. I don't know how well the camera can pick them up there. They move pretty quick and they're not terribly big, but yeah, just swarms of dragonflies flying around. So there's another thing, if we look over at ZhaoQing again, over on our left, there's a lot of this construction going on, which, yeah, a lot of ZhaoQing seems to be a lot older than Guangzhou here, but there's a lot of new apartment buildings going up, especially down here along the river. This sort of area in the middle here now is quite old again, but then as we move further around to our left, all of this down here is new as well. So especially these buildings over on the far left here, they were actually only half that height when I first arrived here. They were still well and truly under construction. And yeah, they're all done now. People living in there. So yeah, a lot of these apartment buildings over in Guangzhou have been done and filled up. I don't know how much more apartment building they're going to be doing over here. They're sort of running out of space without knocking down a heap more old stuff, which I hope they don't do too much of. I do like exploring some of the older parts of the city. So yeah, there's a lot more building stuff going on over there in ZhaoQing now. It's all sort of transferred over. See on our left here we have more exercise equipment. Here we have a couple of little kids playing on the stuff, entertaining themselves. And then if we look up in the sky here in front of us, can we see them? No, it's very hard to see. There's a number of kites up there. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 up there. And they're flying very high. Let's see if we can zoom in on one of these. So they actually have a thing here I was told about. Oh, we have a helicopter coming over us here. Don't often see helicopters around here. It is quite a rarity, so I don't know whether that would be a military helicopter or government or a private job. So we do occasionally, very occasionally, you see a big sort of military style helicopter flying over. Probably more common is there's a couple of different organisations that use helicopters for doing surveys and the like, and you'll quite often see those flying around. Maybe every month or two you might see one flying over. They're not very common. The other thing is private aircraft. There's very few private aircraft, if any. I've never seen a private aircraft here in ZhaoQing, apart from there's an island out by Dinghu in the middle of the river, which they have an ultralight. Oh, here we have this helicopter coming over us. Oh, he's just veering away. Okay, I can't see what from the markings on it, I can't see what that is. If it comes closer, we'll try and have a look. So down here we have a big area. A lot of people come down here to sit of an evening. Some will bring karaoke machines, sing some karaoke stuff. Come down, have little barbecues. See a couple of people fishing down here. We'll take a walk down the bottom here. Oh yeah, and have a look at what's going on down here by the water. So we have another big square area over here. So there's lots of space. This is also an area where Chinese New Year people will come down here because they're hidden from the sort of most of the city area by the raised roadway. A lot of people come down here, let off fireworks of an evening until the police come along. Fireworks are not actually allowed here in Guangzhou because it's considered city, whereas over in Gaoyao they're no problem. So I don't know why people don't just jump over the bridge here and go and do it where it's legal and you don't have to worry about having to run away every 5 minutes. Oh, so here we see a guy with one of these kites. So this guy in the helmet, he's got a long string, and if we follow this string up, his kite is sitting way, way, way up there. So can we see where these other kites are flying from? Okay, we have another guy up here with another string. So, oh wow, so his kite is even further away. So that is, so let's just go back. This is where are we? It's the first kite we were looking at. And then this next guy, his kite is even further. I don't even know if, I can't see that in my screen at all. But there is a kite up there, probably at least twice as high. I would guess close to 3 times as high as that other kite. Way up, so you can see him winding in here. So they have a thing with the kites, I'm told. They have a thing with the kites, I'm told, where to become sort of part of the membership, you have to get your kite 1 kilometre up into the air, 1,000 meters. Okay, it looks like we have another guy down here flying another kite. So yeah, getting a kite 1,000 meters in the air, that's a long way up. So parking area down here. You also see a lot of those dancing groups with the mainly older ladies, but you get the occasional younger group or younger people joining in. And also back down where we just were, there's always a lot of food stalls. There's a lot of people selling toys for kids to play with. All that sort of stuff of an evening. We'll actually come down, we'll do a walk down here one evening. They're not actually turning, so these light poles here, they're not actually turning these on at the moment. I think because we've had all this stormy weather and they just haven't had many people here, so they haven't bothered turning them on while all this has been happening. It's probably been pretty quiet of an evening here lately. So yeah, we'll try and get down here one night when everything's up and running and all the lights are on and everything, and give you a look at what goes on. So we see here this guy's got his trolley set up, heap of other stuff in the back of his car, and he'll be off setting up some sort of stall, I would imagine, for the evening. But I can't see what sort of stuff he'd be selling from what he was taking out. he may well be doing something else. A lot of people come down, do like karaoke, but it's a live broadcast online. So a lot of people can make some money doing that, which is pretty cool. I've been told I should try it, but nah, it's not my type of thing. I'd rather play music for people that are there watching. So we're now heading back up onto the roadway, and we are basically back to our school. So this hotel on the right is on the corner of the road heading down to our school. We carry on down in front of us here. It's heading back on down towards ZhaoQing Temple. So you still have the pathway down the bottom here, more gardens and stuff down here, but then the main sort of roadway from here heading down the other way is actually up. Oh, it's actually even above the road level here. So that brown fencing we can see in front of us here is actually the fencing. So the roadway runs along the other side of the road, sort of raised 1.5 meters or so above the road. Okay, we've got a green light across the road. So the other thing, this hotel here on our left, the big, taller of those two buildings, was actually used during the pandemic as a isolation center. So when people came to ZhaoQing, they had to isolate for whatever period was applicable at the time, whether it was 3 days, 5 days, a week. I think at the start of the pandemic it was 2 weeks, and it adjusted as things adjusted. So if you were coming from an area with no history of COVID in the last month, you might only have to isolate for 3 days and get tests. If you're coming from an area that had issues, might change. It also would depend on how you're traveling. If you're coming in by private car, you probably didn't have to isolate for as long, but if you came in on a train with 1,000 other people, that might change. So yeah, it was all very dependent on how you travel, where you travel from, what the situation in ZhaoQing was at the time. So yeah, it was good. So basically that's our little walk along the river. So tomorrow we're going to try and get back to that museum and have a good look around there and bring you that. I'm a bit spewing. I was just a bit lazy today, never got away on time. In front of us here we see our school again, and we're heading back home. So if you've enjoyed this video, hit that like button, share it with your friends. If anyone you know might be interested in learning a bit more about life here in ZhaoQing, life in China, yeah, share it with people who might be interested. If you have any comments, questions, anything like that, hit us up in the comment section. Also, if you have ideas, things that you would like to see in upcoming videos, something you would like to learn about life here, let me know. I'm happy to make the videos that you guys want. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Stay safe, take care of each other, and we'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.